What's up, guys? Here we are at Bear Bottom Farm. It's a private course up in Moretown, Vermont. It's owned by Shane Tewksbury. This is where the Vermont Bear Bottoms play their home matches in New England Team Challenge. This course is a par 57, 5,355 feet. There were 9 of us that went up to Moretown a week or two ago. We played the course. I recorded this first round of doubles. We got Sandman, Sean, Alex, Johnny, Tyler, Seth, Matt, and George playing doubles here. We're going to run through the holes for you guys. I'm going to talk to you about the OB, some Mandos. Here you can see we have some really nice turf tee pads that they're installing in there. This course has changed, at least I've heard, a decent amount since last year. They changed some of the holes, including hole 1. Hole 1 used to be a par 3. Now it's a par 4. Sandman's looking up at where the landing zone is. He's throwing a big hyzer right here. Keep in mind, this is the first shot out of the car for most of us after driving over 3 hours. So that was a little bit inside, a little too much height. You can see him taking off his jacket. Here we got Tyler smoothing out a backhand up there. You want to give it some height, but you also want to push it past the road, because I've heard that road that they're basically just going over is out of bounds, playing like a river. Here we got George. He's throwing a little bit short. That might have just curled right onto the road. Seth is inside here. That's going to drop down, and that could have landed out of bounds. There's OB left. That main road is OB left. Sean's turning this one over a little bit, going towards that OB on the right, but he's safe. He faded before the OB. The only way you're going to get into that OB is if you really turn it over. But yeah, it's a pretty much just a pushing hyzer up that hill into this landing zone. Don't want to land right next to that little barrel that Johnny is right behind. But yeah, he's still in the circle, about 15 feet short. Those OB stakes play on the left side just before the road. Here we got Matt and Sean and Alex and Tyler. They're all on the right. If you are right enough, it does open up this forehand hyzer. Matt just sawed that one off a little bit, but he's still only about 15 feet. I talked about the OB on the left. There's also OB on the right. Alex is fine right there. Tyler's running this one because Alex is parked. He turns it over a little bit, but watch what happens coming in on the screen right here. Boom, skip up right into the basket. Sandman threw right as Tyler was throwing, and I didn't really get all that. But they started off with an eagle right there. Sean's tapping in the birdie from Matt's upshot, about 15 feet. So that's hole 1. Hole 2 here is a 315-foot shot. There's OB lining this fairway on the right and the left. Seth is showing you the left side of the fairway. If you get really skinny, you can push through. So that one's tricky. I didn't really get many shots, but it's probably one of the most technical drives on the course, if not the most technical. There's a Mando on the right that really forces you to not throw a backhand. Unless you have a really late flipping backhand, that hole's going to be tough to throw a backhand on as a righty. So it really plays a forehand. Here we got hole 3. It's a shorty, one of the 3 short ones on the course. It's only about 185 feet. There's a double Mando here. There's both those 2 trees are Mandos. Shout out Alex because he didn't know about that. But yeah, you can see these guys throwing forehands, stalling out right into the circle. George is throwing a standstill forehand. I would say it favors a forehand a little bit just because of the hillside. But yeah, if you're circle 1 short, you're definitely in bounds. If you're pushing it longer like Matt right here, you can find the out of bounds. Like he was only a foot or 2 inbounds right there, but he was parked. So I think I might have cut out Alex's shot. Nope. So Alex didn't know there was a double Mando, and he missed it, and we were all making fun of him. But yeah, so you really want to stick the island and just have it easy too for this one. So I kept this in the video just to show you guys the drop zone if you do miss the island green. So that's Alex. It's about a 32-footer straight down. If you airball, you're probably going to go out of bounds again. But yeah, it's a pretty manageable par save, especially in doubles. One of you is probably going to hit that putt. So that's hole 3. Definitely a must get in singles or doubles. When I played singles, it was my only bogey. So hole 4 is a smash right here. You can see Tyler's just going barely to the left of that OB, but he stays in bounds just fine because it faded out. Salmon rips on a cigar here. 7-speed. This hole plays over 400 feet. It's probably, in my opinion, the hardest birdie. Not the most technical shot, but you have to throw really far and get a little lucky in the end. Johnny's throwing it in for the 2. Here's a little celebration. But yeah, there's OB right and left, and you have to punch it up the hill pretty far. The hole says it's 385. Plays more than that. I think it plays over 400. I threw a full power thumber, and I was probably 50 feet short. Probably about this short, just on the right. And we had a headwind, so same end shot was even more impressive. Alex just misses that short. There's OB long right near that tree behind the basket. So your upshots, you want to make sure do not go too far. It's probably about 15 feet long. You can see some of the stakes back there. At least, 2 of them you can see. Maybe 20 feet past. But yeah, definitely want to get a 3 on this one or a long look at it too. So here we got hole 5. I think it plays this forehand flex right here with something like a Firebird, as you'll see a few shots. George just didn't give that one enough height. Johnny shows us the backhand straight at it gap. He threw it a little bit high, but he was pushing a mid as seems like as far as he could throw. Tyler smooths out a mid a little bit lower, just hitting the angle a little bit better. He's throwing a buzz right here. I think Johnny threw a Glacier. Just meaning a Glacier. Alex has shown us the Firebird. Star Firebird right here. I think he puts it to like 2 inches. So yeah, this is definitely the shot for the hole. If you have it. I threw a thumber, basically following that same line. But there is OB up near the basket on this one too. So common theme, all these open holes do have out of bounds, and they kind of circle around the basket. So that one's a little short and right. He was just outside the circle. So this one's from Johnny's drive, the backhand up the middle. He was about 20, 25 short. Alex's drive landed right on the pole right there, which was the yellow Star Firebird. Yeah, you can see the OB stakes long. There's also some OB stakes right. And if you really shank a turn over forehand, you can find the OB on the left. Here we got hole 6. This hole says it's only 250. I think it plays at least 280, if not 300. It is a little uphill, so maybe that's where it gets the extra distance. Tyler's smoothing out a mid-range right here. Perfect shot. If you've ever played Pyramids, hole 9 blues, it kind of reminds me of that, but this fairway is just a little bit cleaner. A lot cleaner, I should say. Seth shanks that, and it actually got pretty clean to like 20 feet. But yeah, they're powering up on mids, I think. Alex is throwing another Firebird. He's showing us the forehand flex on this one. He's still only about 20-something feet right there, maybe 30 actually. But yeah, if he turned that over a little bit, it would have been good. This is Tyler's backhand mid-range. That went like 20 feet long, 25 feet long. Yeah, stepping it in right there, like 8 steps. But yeah, so that's hole 6. Hole 7 can definitely ruin your round, I could see. It's a par 4, pretty short par 4. Hard to get there, but it's definitely demanding. There's a few gaps here. Honestly, it looked smaller in person. But yeah, if you push the right side, like the first shot, it can definitely kick out of bounds. George is going the more forgiving route down the middle. Johnny, similar gap. He kind of peers it, throws it right into that tree. So that this hole's at least 450. As you can see, this is where Matt and Sean's drive landed, and they still have a full mid-range down there. There's an OB pond probably about 80 to 100 feet short that your drive, if it gets pure, so it's right in front of Seth right here. If your drive gets through, you can definitely land in there. But yeah, you really want to just get a clean drive, and you'll have a little chip-up shot for the easy 3, especially in doubles. So when I played the singles round after this, like my drive got through and it was near the rock on the right, about 80 feet away. So you can definitely get looks. Forehand into the green's a little bit better. Alex throws a nice little touch flat to Annie shot right here with the Nova and puts it pretty close. But yeah. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If Sandman misses this, it goes pretty far. But he stripes it right on the pole. Yeah, so for double scores, it seems like a lot of these holes definitely want to get in doubles. I could see a good score being low 40s here. Most of these teams today shot mid 40s. But yeah, this was the first time playing this layout. This hole is hole 8, par 3. Can't really see the basket, but this fairway kind of shapes up the hole. If you pure the forehand flex and get past that light tree. So Sean's about pin high, probably 30, 40 feet. You definitely want to fade a little bit. Alex throws a really good shot here, just hits that middle tree. Oh, no, he hit the branch right there. But if that got through a little bit lower, it would have been really, really good. He got hit straight down right here. There is also a backhand right side. Shout out Johnny. So if you want to punch a backhand through it, you can get lucky. And it's really just a pushing hyzer. So Alex kicked down. It's about 60 feet, putting straight up the hill. He said no to the bet, but, you know, Alex, he smashed it. So that was a really good putt for him and Tyler. So yeah, this is where Sean's drive landed. Forehand that turn over a little bit, about 30 feet, and hit the putt. Matt hit the putt right there. I missed Johnny's shot, or maybe that was Seth's forehand, Firebird. But yeah, about 20 feet. So this is hole 9. There's 2 gaps here. You can go backhand hyzer like Seth just went. Not good ground play. He's just outside the circle there. Maybe a little more height, but he threw a good flight. George throws pretty much the same shot, just pulls it out right with something a little bit flippier, so it's not fading as much. Let's see if anyone throws the other gap. All right, so Alex is looking at the gaps. I think he favored the backhand for this shot. But there is an inside forehand flex that you can go. It cuts off some of the distance. So if that's your preferred shot, that's definitely what you're doing. My preferred shot is definitely the backhand. And when I threw it in singles, I was like within 5 feet. It definitely is a bigger gap on the right. George threw a forehand here, and it looks like it's going to get there, but it does just fade a little bit early. That looks like it's pretty close. It was a little bit further than it looked. Tyler's doing a pushing backhand right here. Didn't really get great ground play. So Alex's backhand just ended up a little short. It's like 80, 90 feet here. Keep in mind he just hit a 60-foot putt uphill in the last hole. And smash. Yeah. Doesn't look as far on camera, but that one was very far. Outside circle 2 for sure. Matt's cleaning up his putt here. And that was to save their par. All right, so this is hole 10. It's another shorty, just like hole 3. This one reminds me of hole 1 at Webster, if you guys have played Webster, which has the backhand hyzer, has a forehand hyzer, and you can also sneak a shot right up the middle. So that's why it reminded me of hole 1 at Webster. You can really do anything on this hole. Whatever you can do to get the disc to go 200 feet and end up in a straight line from where you are. So we saw the backhands. We saw some forehands. Sandman's doing the backhand as well. I think the backhand has more trees you could hit. As you can see, some of these trees trees getting in the way and some of the discs getting caught up. So Seth and Sean both threw this forehand. Definitely less lucky. And I'm not saying the backhand is lucky. I'm saying that more so that the backhand can get unlucky very easily. As you can see, most of these hitting trees on the backhand, even if you pure the first initial gap. So yeah, I think this is maybe, besides hole 8, which was the forehand flex 2 holes ago, this is one of the only holes so far that doesn't have out of bounds. So hole 8 and hole 10, no out of bounds here. The rest do have out of bounds. So they're all cleaning up their putts. Here we got hole 11. This one again, you can do backhand or forehand. I feel like, as you can see, the forehand goes right towards the out of bounds, so it's pretty easy to fade out of bounds unless you swing it out left. Tyler shows us the backhand with a lot of height and a low speed. That will play is about 20 feet. I threw a flippy judge on this one and still almost went out of bounds, but I think a lower speed, backhand, slight turnover, or maybe like a Firebird on a soft flex line. Johnny discs up here and ends up going out of bounds long. He threw a flippy fairway or distance driver. Just a little too much disc. We didn't really know. Matt's throwing a Sergeant, going out of bounds as well. It's a little too much. It seems further than it is, but it's really only about 260, 270. Which is kind of a theme at this course. Similar shot to hole 5, I would say, as well. Hole 5, this hole, which is hole 11, and then hole 18, very similar shots. Yeah, so Sean's drawing it up perfectly right there. Tyler's tapping in for birdie. Yeah, so a lot of must-gets on this course. Some tricky ones because of the out of bounds and some tight gaps, but overall, pretty scoreable. Like I said, doubles mid to low 40s. This is hole 12. It's a nice straight shot. You want to throw it over that railing and not hit anything, obviously. But again, there's some options here. There's a lot of airspace. You can throw the backhand like George and Tyler are throwing here. You could throw a chip forehand, have a safe putt. Yeah. These guys all throwing backhands. I threw an Origin on this one when I played singles, put it pretty close. Really anything you want. So that's throwing a putter there. You could Sean's disking up a little bit here, not throwing it as hard. Pretty good shots. You want to get past that last tree, the skinny one and the one to the left that are past the railing. Johnny's throwing a mid-range right here. Just torques it over a little bit. But still, that's circles, edge, maybe 40 feet. Really, just anything that gets over that railing is a good shot. So George just tap it in, 30-footer, because that's what George does. I think that was from his drive. I think in Essence. So yeah, just a flippy fairway driver. Not crushing it. That's from, I think, Sean's drive. I think Matt was throwing Sean's disc back to him. And Tyler's right here. Pretty straightforward hole. The only shots they'll find out of bounds are bad shots on that one. Here we got hole 13. This is a straight putter or mid shot. You can see the basket right there. Tyler's putting that pretty close. I think it looks closer than it is. I think this hole's a little bit further than seems on the tee pad. That's just my thoughts. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a few seconds. So this was Alex throwing a link. Little inside. But that does look like it's about pin high, and it's not. And here's Matt. I think he's throwing a leopard. And this looks like it almost went in. I don't know if it hit a tree. But then when we got up there, it was still short, which was a little confusing. So this is Sandman's. He threw it a little low. He's like 35, 38 feet short. So I don't really see an issue with throwing this one a little too long as you punch the gap. Yeah, so this is where Alex landed with his link, which was still 35 feet short. Maybe 33. Hole 14 here. This is, along with holes 2 and 4, I think this is one of the 3 hardest holes to birdie. 2, 4, and then this hole 14, I think, are the 3 hardest ones. This one you have to push a riding hyzer down there, or I guess a forehand flex, but most guys are throwing a backhand riding hyzer to straight shot. You really just throw it like Sean did there and pray you don't hit anything. You really just want to hope you don't hit anything in the second half of the flight. This is a questionable fairway because that looks perfect and still hits a tree. I don't really know what the fairway is on this one other than just missing all these trees at the end. So Alex is like 80 feet short. Almost hit the putt. Sandman's, again, about 70 or 80 feet. I'd say even 80 feet. And smashed it for the birdie. But yeah, if you hit a tree, you're probably going to end up short with a death putt down the hill. I don't think there's OB long on the last hole, but I could be mistaken. So the last hole was hole 14. This one's hole 15. It's par 4 up the hill. It says 400 feet. It plays like 500. Like Sean smashed this forehand. They're still at least 100 feet away. Maybe 100 feet. As you can see here, this is where Sean's drive landed. They're still throwing up, I'd probably say 100, 120 feet.
Oh, that's good.
So like I said, this one plays like probably 500 feet, maybe 450, even though it says 400. The last hole was also almost 400 feet. It is downhill, though, so it doesn't play as far. Probably only plays 350. So there's Matt tapping in the, well, not tapping in, but putting in the birdie. Hole 16. If you love a touch Annie forehand that just barely fades, this is the hole for you. As Matt's showing you. I forget what disc that is. It might be a Tempo.
I'm hugging that right side. Backhand.
Same man's throwing a Zone or a Zone OS there. These are perfect shots for this hole. I don't have this shot, so this one's a little tough for me. If you're not a forehand Annie guy, it's a really, really tight backhand because of the low ceiling. So that's Sean tapping in Matt's forehand. And then Sandman's tapping in his zone shot here. Yeah, can't remember if that's a Zone OS or a Zone. So that's hole 16. Tough backhand hole.
All right, we're good.
Pretty stock forehand touch Annie shot. So this is the third really short hole in the course. This is hole 17. It is uphill a decent amount, but a little touch backhand turn shot, like with a putter, even a mid, that's a little flippy. Or you can throw a forehand straight up the hill. It's whatever you want. Overhand's tough because of the low branches right in front of the tee. So I didn't throw a tomahawk or thumber. Just do like a flippy judge. So yeah, Matt's throwing a really good shot right there. It's pretty much parked. And Johnny gets a little lucky, but still pretty much parked right there.
Why would you use the zone?
And that's parked too. Maybe a little short, actually. That's parked. Yeah. So those are all perfect shots. I think Alex swings this one out wide a little bit, but finds a gap still. This hole is only about 180 feet. Plays like, 210, maybe 200 feet. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm trying to cover everything. Like discs, OB, Mandos, how long holes are, how they play, what the hole's favorite for shot selection. So this is hole 18. Again, as you can see, Johnny hitting the pole right there. But there's OB right that comes into play for hyzer forehand. If you just hyzer it out too much. You can see Sean forcing the anhyzer right there. There's stakes surrounding this whole green on the right, short right, long past it. So left is definitely a safe spot. There's no Mando or anything. These are, like, that shot right there was really good. 20-footer for birdie. I think this shot might have skipped out of bounds. Just barely.
I'm gonna say.
There's an OB pond right
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna-
past the basket, so long past the basket. I don't think anyone found it. I did find it when I played singles, so I threw my thumber straight into the pond to end the round. But if you go OB long, it's a tap-in 3. For some reason, Johnny's not looking when he putts. I think they were kind of out of it in the dubs. But he almost made it for the birdie. I think that the tree right there is right in Tyler's way. There's his lag putt. Shout out Tyler. Yeah, Alex didn't make it. Sean taps it in right here for from 20 feet.